What's up, everyone? Adam Gelman here. I have an awesome panel of individuals here. Usually you're seeing me talking about wrestling cards and content creation for the wrestling hobby. Today we're pulling back and we're going full hobby style here. Paul Lesko, for a number of years, has done a great job cataloging the hobby's most annoying concepts, and for the most part, the hobby has gotten infinitely more annoying in very specific ways. So I thought it was great to have an opportunity for all of us to hop on here, give our thoughts, reveal the bracket, and give our sort of our favorite drinks a swig or two here as we do it. So let's do some quick introductions. I'm Adam Gelman. You can find me on Twitter at SC Uncensored. You can find me on Instagram at WWE Gelman. As I've said before, I'm a big wrestling collector, but I've been writing sports cards uncensored.com since 2007. I've been a huge collector of football and baseball and you name it for many, many years. I'm going to kick it over to the man who is responsible for us to be here. Paul, if you want to kick it off, and then we'll go to Ryan and Ben.
Yeah, I don't know if it's responsible, or maybe the person to blame for but I'm Paul Lesko. I'm an attorney that really enjoys not only collecting cards, but writing about the legal issues that occur with cards. And about 4 or 5 years ago, just as a joke during March Madness, we were talking about things that annoyed us, and somebody suggested, hey, we should put up some type of tournament for this. And my initial thought was, there's no way they're going to get 64 things that annoy people. Well, pretty quickly, we not only had 64, we had about 128, and we had to have play-in matches and everything. So
God.
So this year, it's going to be really fun. This is I think the 4th or the 5th year doing this. We've got a pretty good field of annoyances, and I'm really looking forward to hearing some discussion about what's in there, what should be in there, and what should ultimately win.
No, this is a great idea, man. Like I follow along with this every year because it's so much fun, and I get so annoyed with so many different things. And so to be able to get on and do kind of the ESPN style bracketology video where we're discussing the bracket, who are our bracket busters, I think is going to be great. Ryan, do you want to introduce yourself? My partner in crime and usual on our wrestling card videos. Now we get to sort of do the full hobby where I know you're just as comfortable as anyone.
Yeah, no problem. Ryan Shearer, the artist formerly known as Macho Madness on Twitter. Yeah, we all know the account got banned. Let's just get it out of the way. I'm still lurking though. But you see me all time to time with Adam breaking down WWE products, breaking down checklists, breaking down post-mortem. And you guys know I'm a wrestling collector. I collect Macho Man, Brutus Beefcake, but I'm also a pretty big non-sports collector. And I do pick up things. I'm kind of in the point of my collecting career where it's less about opening and more about just buying what I want. I find there's a lot less sadness that way when you do it that way.
Right, exactly.
But I tell you what, I followed this on Twitter since its inception, and I used to get bummed when I would miss like one of Paul's tweets and I wasn't able to vote on it. So I'd have to catch up to the new ones. But this is going to be fun, and this is a fantastic idea because this is going to be fun.
I like it. All right, Ben, let's hear it, man.
Yeah, my name is Ben Wilson. You can find me at our trading cards on Twitter. If you don't already have me blocked, you will someday. Paul invited me on a couple weeks ago. I was a co-host of About the Cards for 4 years, 200 episodes. Paul, I think, was on 2 or 3 episodes.
Yep.
He invited me onto this, and he's like, you want to come on and talk about this? I was like, I am like the nicest guy on Twitter. I don't know why you'd want to talk about hobby annoyances with somebody like me. I mean, I never argue about anything. I always find it positive.
Never.
You want to argue with me? But let's talk about cards as investments or Mark McGuire's 85 versus 87. Those will always spark the neck crack. The here we go. So yeah, it's fun because an idea like this is we all have different things that bother us, irritate us for different reasons, and it's interesting to get different insight. What bothers somebody for true collectors versus speculators, and to have a March Madness breakdown. I mean, as soon as I saw one specific one on there,
here we go.
It automatically became the champion. automatically.
go.
Didn't matter the seed. I was like, I'm just gonna fill that in, and we'll go fill the rest of the bracket in after that. So
Right,
thanks for having me,
exactly.
guys.
They're your Duke Blue Devils. See, you already mentioned one of the ones that I'm actually gonna make as one of my picks. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. But yeah, I think so. Paul and I, like, just to give a little bit of background on how we got to this video, because this is obviously something that is new this year. Paul's been doing this for a very long time, but I saw Paul sort of ramping up with this, and I had given a few suggestions in past years. And I was like, you know what? It's time we all get together and discuss some of these things. And in the true Seinfeld way, I got a lot of problems with you people, and tonight you're going to hear about it. So this is going to be our Festivus airing of grievances in a little bit of ways. But first things first, I think it's time for us to discuss the bracket reveal, because we've had a lot of play-in matches. I know Paul has already posted a number of those, but we haven't actually had a chance to reveal the whole bracket. So, hopefully my computer is working. You guys can see it, but we have named the regions in true annoying fashion. We've also made it easy to follow. So if you are looking for the bracket in its entirety, we will put the link to this Google Doc in the show notes here. So as this is posted on YouTube, you can see the link down below. There are some TBDs, which we're going to get to here in a few minutes. But let me introduce the sheesh region, the hashtag invest region, the let's go region.
Let's fucking go!
And thanks stops region of our bracket. So historically, there hasn't been names for these things, but these are I think, fitting names. We may rename them as memorials for retired things in future years if Paul so desires. But, this is going to be a really fun sort of experience. So we're going to go region by region here so we can go, top to bottom here. I'll let Paul sort of walk through some of these and how he got to these, because some of these have been in the bracket for a while. So, this is your baby, Paul. Like, here's your chance here. Let's start with the sheesh region here.
Sure.
Walk us through here.
Yeah, so this is the region with last year's winner, retail hoarders and flippers. Last year was fairly dominant, knocking off bots, which had a 2-year running had 2 years running of victory.
Wow.
So retail hoarders, flippers coming in as a champion last year. I figured it's the overall #1 seed.
I'm already cracking up. I'm already cracking up. The 2-year run for bots is over.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So it takes on a new entrant this year, coming in at a 16 seed, and it won a play-in match. It's I left some for the kids. I mean, just to let everybody know, yes, you are kind and caring by leaving that one pack left behind while you left with 13 boxes of cards.
I left Chronicles behind for you, so
thank you for that. I probably bought it. The 8 seed in this region is something that's just getting worse and worse. Cards are too expensive. I think it's getting due. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. Prices keep going on. Look at cards are too expensive, becoming a powerhouse here. #9, always a pain in the ass, is event worn relics. This is one of those ones that I love as a legal, as someone that analyzes what happens legally in the cards, because the disclaimers that are on these, you learn so much about. This is a card that has nothing. There's this patch on this card is not from any game, anything that you've ever heard of before. So
what's interesting about that one specifically. So Ryan and I actually connected about the rookie premiere very early on in our friendship. We've been friends for over a decade now, and like the event worn relics. I've been to the rookie premiere. I've been to these events where they actually lay out 80 jerseys on the table, and the players take the neck hole and put it over their head and take it up. This has been a bane of the card industry for many years, and it's only getting worse because now every relic is player worn instead of game worn. So it's, for whatever reason, this is the direction the hobby is going, and no one seems to care. So this is maybe a Cinderella story. Here we go.
The number 5 in this region is uninformed card influencers. There's a lot of people out there purporting to be experts in cards. There's a lot of people, unfortunately, they get duped by them, and nobody on this podcast falls into this category because no one here acts like we're giving out great wisdom whatsoever. We're very humble in how we do stuff, but it's taking on one of our TBDs. And the reason we have the TBDs here is there's 64 annoyances that are in here. 32 of them are winners from last year. You had to win at least one match last year to become in this. The other 27 that are in here had to win play-in matches. And there's always some annoyances that get knocked out that aren't in here. So what we have done this year is we have left 5 of them to be named. Each one of us will get to name one of these annoyances. And for the 5th one, we'll try and see if we can't come to a consensus.
Oh, God.
Should be.
Oh, God.
Number 4 here is returns on cards that drop in price. This was a powerhouse during COVID when the industry just went through the roof, especially with Project 2020. You're buying cards for $1,300, $1,400. Then the Memorial Day massacre occurred. Card prices dropped, and everyone started returning their cards rather than actually standing through with the deal. So it became something that's pretty much stuck through the hobby. I think this is something that's going to drop from here. But it's still, it was a powerhouse 2 years ago. It's a powerhouse this year.
It's really weird because, like, as a football collector, like, you used to see these rookies who would have really good games in the NFL. They would just light it up. And NFL is 16 now, 17 games a year. So, like, it's not like baseball where there's 162 games. Like, you are going to see one rookie put up like a giant number in the preseason and then get cut from the team the next week. So you had people that were paying $150, $400, $7,000 for a Kellen Mond card. That guy didn't even make the team. As a Vikings fan, I laughed pretty hard at that. And it just continually was like, well, my kid hit the button, which is another one here, I'm sure. But my kid hit the button. It's I got to return this because there's no way that this guy is ever going to be worth what I paid for the card. So rather than actually own it and take your licks, you're going to return it. Yeah, this is a disaster.
And eBay just allows it. I mean, it's very difficult to actually get eBay to follow through. It's just, unfortunately, you sell the card, you keep your fingers crossed and hope you get past 6 months or 90 days or whatever it is so that you can actually, take that money to the bank.
Yep.
Number 13, we got a low seed here, but it's reusing card images from product to product. Yeah, I don't want to say anything else about that one. I think it's a loser. He doesn't stand a chance. It's not getting to the second round. Number 3 is every year it baffles me that Redemptions never makes it to the final 4. I think it's one of the annoyances that's complained about the most, but it's only at a 3 seed here. So we'll see where it goes. Number 14, made up error cards. The manufacturers love them for some reason. There are collectors that like error cards and I guess like non-error cards. They're just horrible gimmicks.
So wait a second. So this is mostly like the heritage sets, right, in baseball. Like I guess this isn't something that I'm very familiar with. Like when I saw this in the bracket, I was like, I wasn't quite sure what it was. I'm glad you explained it there.
Yeah. Well, like Donruss a couple of years ago, there was an error in 1986 Donruss. It was Tom Browning's Diamond King. So for a couple of years in a row, the A's had one where it was Matt Chapman with Chad Pinder on it. So they were like doing an ode to the Tom Browning card for no reason other than Panini could. So they did. And it's just
interesting. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's cool. I didn't know that was what inspired this annoyance. That's an interesting sort of, I can't say that that's something that's attractive to me.
Yeah, and it's a low seed. It's going up against Redemptions. We're not going to be talking about it. So, number 6, Razzes. They are illegal as hell. You get 5, 10, 20 people all throwing $10 for an $80 card. One winner takes it home, and the seller makes out like a bandit. Not legal at all yet.
Coming from the man himself, the lawyer in the room is telling you guys these aren't legal. Go ahead.
Yeah. We should have had a drinking game on how many times Paul mentions he's a lawyer. One of my,
Exactly.
one of
Don't
my
make me
hobby
use my lawyer
annoyances.
voice.
One of my hobby annoyances as an economist is somebody who mentions what they do for a living on repeat.
Yes.
As a
Yes.
financial guy, that irritates me.
So
Great.
I was gonna put Paul in the intro slide as Paul Lesko, Esquire, but I didn't know if that was fitting here.
No, yeah, it would be the first time it's ever been written that way. So
Okay, go ahead. So we're on the gimmicks now.
yeah, gimmicks is the best gimmick that I can think out there is the rally squirrel. Being from St. Louis, seeing rally squirrel cards and the demand for those, it's baffling. It's a one-hit wonder that won't last very long, but manufacturers like them because they pique interest for a little bit. They get a lot of sales from them, and then they disappear to obscurity. Number 7, and this is one after Ben's own heart.
Yep.
Invest. People who think of cards as investments. That's our resident economist here. I'll say it for you rather than so you don't have to say it for yourself.
That's very frivolous of you. Thank you.
but anybody
And it's
who,
not in its named region. I didn't realize that it was a hash there, that I added the hashtag invest to a seated thing here. So that's my fault being unfamiliar with the seating here. Go ahead.
well, I think it's great. I think the regions just having names don't have anything to do with anything. Next year we'll get it right. Next year we'll get it right.
Exactly. When we actually have an idea of how to plan this, right? Or when you
Yep.
do, yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Number 10, pictures of the card aisle on social media with people asking anything good. What should I buy here? Just do your research. I mean, it's almost as annoying as people asking, how much is this card worth? Well, let me eBay that for you. It's not hard to figure this out yourself. So number 15, unsolicited comments on sales post. You post a card for sale and somebody responds almost immediately, oh, that's too high. Is that you, Ben?
If you're gonna be a knucklehead, yeah, you're gonna get called on it. So yeah, I'm guilty of that one, perhaps a time or two.
I've wanted to be, but I try to. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Is that the rule of Twitter? Okay, I got it.
Oh,
I don't know,
Facebook
Ryan. Why were you banned again? Maybe we want to get not saying anything nice.
I've retained Paul Lesko as my counsel in this matter.
And I advise him to take the 5th.
Okay,
I'm just going to go ahead and spill my guts right now.
That's a good investment.
Yeah, we'll get confession on tape here. All
I'm
right,
too
number
real.
2.
I'm too real. I'm too real for the people.
Yeah, hashtag grinding. All right, go ahead. The 2 seed, the major one here. I love this one. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, number 2 seed was a new entrant last year. It's the Bro Life, hashtag Bro Life. You got sneakerheads, you got the crypto douchebags, you got anybody who's just, totally focused, speaking their own language that you can't understand what they're talking about. They think that you're the dumbest person in the entire world because you don't understand, and it's just.
Oh, sorry.
You're in a fad. It's a fad. You're not going to be around much longer, guys.
I kind of spoiled the next region here, so I apologize for that. Let's go on to the hashtag invest region, which is literally on every eBay post, every eBay listing that's ever been listed in the last 2 years. So let's get to it.
Number 2 is a powerhouse effort. It's just almost cracking the final 4, but never quite getting there. It's you sold something on eBay, immediately you get a message, or 2 days later you get a message, please cancel. My kid accidentally bought this. No, you didn't. You were drinking, you were bidding, you won. Now you have regret.
What about lemons? What about Think of Lemons? Like, do you remember the Lemons the cat? Like, that was the best. I thought that was great.
Yeah, Lemons was a personal meme point for a little bit, where my cat Lemons was a feline leukemia. It was
Yeah,
my cat
something
Lemons
like
has
that.
feline
It was something
leukemia, and I
crazy
need
like
to
that,
pay
yeah.
for surgery, so I can't pay for your card. It will be going up against one of the TBDs. Number 7, scribbled or bad autographs. We're just getting worse. I can't believe, I think I saw a recent card. It was, I believe it was a Leaf card where there were 8 signatures on it. And the first 4 just looked like 2 letters. And that used to be the exception to the rule, but now it's just, most autographs I think are just, they're ugly. And so when you actually see an athlete who puts time into signing and has a distinct signature, I mean, people, that's what you should invest in. Invest in good autographs, not these 2-letter ones.
Yeah, and this is close to my heart because the wrestler that I collect has probably one of the worst signatures in all of sports, and it pisses me off to no end, and it just drives me insane.
Yeah, I like Io DeSumo from University of Illinois, now plays for the Bulls, and he's, you know, his autograph may be Io, it may be 3 letters. I really don't think so, but it's going up against a new entrant from this year, Net to Me, where not only do you have to buy this card, you have to do math to figure it out. It's just how annoying, where the seller wants you to know exactly how much is
You
going
have to do
them.
math.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay.
I'll pay extra if I'm doing math for this card. I'm not paying less.
Oh my God.
You still have a physical calculator. It's impressive.
Amazing. That's great.
Number 6, we've got trimmed cards. This is always something that's been in the hobby forever. It's really, you know, anybody trying to improve the grades on their cards, or, you know, trying unsolicitedly, badly, to trim the cards and try and spoof somebody. I think with technology getting better, hopefully we'll be seeing less and less of these. But there have been some, you know, pretty big cards out there that have been found to be trimmed after the fact and still got graded. So it's something that's fairly annoying. Number 11, a new entrant. Is this one that you suggested, Adam?
I hope so, because this is literally one of my biggest pet peeves that there is. It's like, go ahead, introduce it, and then I'll give my take here, because I've got a really spicy one here.
Introduce it, but do it slowly, please.
Yeah, exactly.
It is slow rolling breaker.
Oh my goodness.
Nice
Put these
work.
in the back of the pile so that just open cards.
Yeah, this is my like I only break with very specific people for very specific reasons. We'll talk about annoying breaker voices here. We'll talk about slow rolling breakers, but holy shit, like if you're spending 45 seconds to reveal a hit in a box, just show me the goddamn card. Like, seriously, like, I paid for this break. I did not pay for your entertainment. Like, let's get going here.
Yeah, that 10
You know,
second
I want
advance
to
is
propose
awesome.
something real quick. I think that we should also combo slow rolling breakers with breakers that think they're celebrities.
Yeah, absolutely.
No way would any breakers ever take their t-shirt off on camera or hire young
Well,
ladies in scantily clad
God.
clothes. I mean, that just couldn't happen.
No, of course not, because we have morals.
Yeah,
But
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I mean, how many times have you watched a break where the guy is in the middle of the pack and he's like, "Hey, Frank, yeah, hey, glad you're here. Oh yeah, hey, how's your wife? Oh, hey, how's your cat?" It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Your job is to show
Seriously.
cards.
What's my
Your job
card?
is to show cards. Clean your
Yeah.
nails, show the cards. Easy.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times 10-second advance, 10-second advance, 10-second advance.
Yeah, like if it's not on YouTube where I can like fast forward through the majority of the break, like I hate Whatnot, I hate Loop for the sole reason that they literally take like 100 minutes to do a 1-pack box. Like this is the I know we're getting into the weeds here, but man, we could have had a whole breaker region. Like there could have been a whole breaker region.
Next
but
year
man,
we
like,
may have to. I think
yeah,
you suggested it. I think next year we may have to.
we have to like organize this, like the investor influencer region, like the breaker region, like the bro
Manufacturer.
region, like the
we
manufacturer region.
could easily come up with 16 breaker annoyances. No problem.
Oh my God.
No problem.
There may be 16 here. The next one we have non-auto eBay listings. This is one of those ones where you just want to search for your player. You know, you want to find your cards, and you know you want an autograph, and all of a sudden you have all these non-autographs popping up because somebody put in non-auto in there. So it's one that, you know, once people get smart enough on your searches, you can eliminate this one, but it's a perennial classic. I mean, it's, you know, it's a 3 seed. It's done well year to year.
And one of Ben's favorite things, I'm going to talk about where I work, but I work for a tech company and I don't want to have to put in Boolean searches to be able to get the cards I want on eBay to show up in the way that I have. Like I collect a very specific laser focused PC, and like I have to put in like 8 to 9 different minuses just to get out of all of the keyword spamming that goes on. It's awful.
Yeah, no, it's non-auto is going up against number 14, cook groups. This is where you get a bunch of people who get together and they decide, you know what, the cards that we have aren't worth as much as they should be. So let's tell everybody, let's, basically do a pump and dump here. Let's tell everybody, oh, you should buy these cards. And then they end up trying to sell them.
Ryan and I run into this all the time. Like, this is literally one of the things that Ryan and I deal with on a regular basis is like, these are the cards you need to buy. So let's get everybody to do it. Like, I didn't know what a cook group was. Now that you explain it, yes, I agree 100%.
Huge in the wrestling community. Huge.
Yeah, I think my first exposure to them was in the Project 2020, where you had people trying to get some of those cards to go for more than they're worth, and that's unfortunately they're here to stay, and we'll be seeing more of them. Number 4, I love this one. Possible PSA 10. You're looking at a sale of a card, it's ungraded, but the guy over there who will later tell you he's got no experience with grading is telling you this card is possibly a PSA 10. Thank you for that. It's another one. This is a perennial guy that does very well every year. So looking forward to seeing how he does this year. He's up against a new one for this time. I think it's low. I think it's got a low seed here. I think it's got a chance of an upset, but it's anybody who is telling you that you are collecting incorrectly. You're collecting wrong. No, it's everybody's got their own PCs. Heck, my collection, my wife asks me all the time, okay, well, if you die, which of these cards are worth money? Well, I collect cards that are involved in lawsuits or have legal issues. Nobody collects this.
It's literally one of the most unique.
That's the most it's worth.
It's the most unique PC that has ever existed. I would put this up against any other PC that exists. Is like cards involved in lawsuits and Paul's collection. There's nothing else out there that's this unique.
Hey, Paul, real quick. Paul, do you have that Topps Now Josh Harrison card?
I have the Josh, and I have the Josh, and I have the John.
Yeah. Okay, so
oh my God,
for you that are,
he had it on his desk.
For the uninitiated, that Harrison card was the preview was put out wrong, and they went to fix it, and somebody sued. They sued to get the actual card that was previewed.
Yeah,
who would sue Topps?
Come on, man.
Nobody would do that. That's ridiculous.
But the result, and this was very, very early on in the Topps Now program, very early on, before they got all the law jargon down where they could change the card if they needed to. As a result, I think there's 19 copies, give or take.
I don't know how many copies are out there, but there's not very many.
So. Yeah, and they're super expensive. So that one, the wife may, get a new purse out of or something. So.
Ben, hold on. You said who would sue over this? Like, have you not been to the Topps Q&A that happens at the National every year? Like, there's one guy.
I mean, who would sue over not getting what they thought they were buying? I mean, that is absolutely frivolous. In fact, Paul and I had a conversation about how, as a finance guy, I view investing. And I say, the way it irks me to no end, like the layperson using frivolous as, in legal jargon, because lawyers understand it a certain way. And people just like me, they just throw it around like, that's a frivolous lawsuit. And Paul told me, he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, that's why I get irritated with investing, because not everything you can make money on is an investment. A lot of it is arbitrage. A lot of it is speculation. It's similar to day trading. It's got to have an effective utility if you're going to invest in it. But, I can't believe somebody would sue over a Topps Now card. I mean, that's just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. All right. So now we're getting to one of my favorite ones. So let's, I want to, this is another breaker one that just drives me nuts. Go ahead.
Number 5. And this one, I got some flack for including it for the first time last year, because some people say it legitimately happens. I'm shaking. It's when somebody pulls a big card and they have to tell you or type out that they're actually physically shaking because they have the card. I get it. Sometimes you're excited. I've been excited when I pulled cards, but you know what? I can still hold it steadily for the cam. I mean, maybe I've never pulled a $10,000 card or a $15,000 card. Maybe things would change, but Really?
You know, Paul, ironically enough, when you invited me to be on this, I'm looking at my phone and you're like, hey, you want to be a part of this? I'm like, I'm shaking as I'm reading the tweet. You know, I was like, how do I respond? I mean, this is
That's awesome. All right.
That's going up against one of my annoyances. A lot of my job involves negotiation. And so whenever I see a auction where it's reserve not met, you've bid, you've got the highest bid, and you're still not going to win because the reserve is not met. Reserve is not met. Just annoys me. It's just just let's do this right. If you don't want to sell it for 20 bucks and you want to sell it for $100, start the bidding at $100. It's to the point
Why
now.
is this still a thing? Like, why is this
I don't
still
know
on
how.
eBay? Like, this
Yeah.
was like from the early days of eBay when their coding was probably a half or a fourth of what it is now, and it's still there. Like, it's still there. I still see auctions put up with reserves. Like, why? Now, I get in the auto auctions, in the art auctions, reserves are very, very common because collectors will pay for something, but sellers won't sell for something. So, like, if you've watched when my wife was pregnant with one of our 4 children, she would sit and watch the auto auctions on TV because she was up at like 3 a.m. or whatever, and she's like, "Why don't they just put it out there without a reserve if they really want to sell it?" This is the same thing.
Yeah. Number 8, fake slabs and made-up grading companies. This is there are a lot of grading companies that are out there, and there's a lot of mystery grading companies that are out there. Sometimes you'll find a card, you'll see it's a PSA 10 by WFP grading company, and
seems legit.
you're going to Google it. You're going to look it up and say,
who spends money on this shit? Like, honestly, I honestly don't know who looks at that slab and says, you know what, I'm going to give this guy $20 to put it in a slab. Like, go buy a mag case. Like, honestly, like,
people who don't know, Adam? Seriously, they don't know. They're new. They just see grading. They don't know the companies. All they know is that card is in a sealed case. It's got to be good, right? A 10's got to be good. They don't know any better.
I think I was talking about one point when I get sick of whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna open up my own grading company, and it's gonna be called Only Tens. Whatever you said to us, 10, 10, beautiful, 10.
It's
Everything is a
amazing.
10. So
that's a great idea.
And it's not false advertising if that's the name of the company, right?
Exactly.
That's true. That is
right?
true.
It's only a 10. That's literally I'm putting the company's name on.
Okay, Paul, we're gonna go on Shark Tank. We're gonna go on Shark Tank and we're gonna pitch that.
Nice. I like it. It's going to go up against number 9, questions on social media when people show a card and ask, should I grade this? Because it's difficult. I mean, graders themselves can't grade cards consistently. You can send a card in, you'll get an 8, you'll get a 9, you'll get a 10 on the same card. But someone's holding it up to their 4-megapixel camera and says, hey, should I grade this? I don't know. Does it look good? Does it look good to you? Just send it in. Just send it in.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my God. I am not a fan of grading. I'm at the anti-grade brigade president. And yeah, this is funny. Go ahead.
This entry has a cousin on the other side of this bracket that is the bane of my Twitter existence. And we will discuss it when we get to it.
Awesome.
But nothing pisses me off more than this next entry on the other side of the bracket.
Go ahead.
Perfect. We got number 16, probably not around very long, but we got charging for investment advice. We're seeing that happen a lot now where you have some social media influencers who are taking money or offering classes to tell you how to invest in cards.
Watch out, Paul. You might get sued here for saying this.
Yeah, that's libel.
You might get threatened to get sued.
You might get a 30-page letter in your email box for putting this in your tournament here.
Yeah,
and the irony of this,
I think
35 pages. 35 pages.
The irony is the majority of people that are offering the so-called investment advice are not licensed. I imagine the legal disclaimer probably
that was brought up. Yeah, exactly.
Will not hold weight. There's a reason that I never got my Series 7 or 65 because I couldn't do what I did on About the Cards. I couldn't do what I do on Twitter because just the inkling of the wrong thing that I say could be seen as investment advice. Right now, it's not. It's just words on Twitter. But these guys get on there on camera, and it lives in perpetuity, forever on the internet. You saying buy Will Greer, and I go buy Will Greer. If I don't get my 4x investment, like all kidding aside, right? If you're saying it's a good investment,
exactly,
and I buy it and it loses, are you not legally liable now for offering me unlicensed investment advice? You're opening yourself up that back door.
That's exactly right. That's where this whole thing comes from, is like, yes, exactly correct. And I think that was brought up in a recent video that that Sports Card Radio and Sports Card News posted. But like, yeah, this is we're gonna skewer a few people in this, I have a feeling. And but as we get through this, I think this is one of those things that there are people who aren't even like influencers who feel like they can charge for investment advice, which is even funnier, is that people will pay them for that. Go ahead, Paul. I'm getting way too in the weeds here.
Yeah. And it's going up against number one, NFTs. It came in last year with a bang, and unfortunately, despite the fact they're dropping in value, they're still around, and they're still their cheerleaders, and I think we're going to see them for many years still.
And if NFTs or if grading is a scam, which it 100% is, unequivocally, you cannot deny grading is not a scam. 100% not transparent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They put ads on Indeed to hire people off the street. But if grading is a scam, NFTs, like Ryan said, NFTs are the cousin. NFTs are absolutely, next to crypto, one of the worst financial scams that you could possibly, quote unquote, invest in. And again, doesn't mean you can't make money. You can make money at a lot of things, including selling drugs on the street, right? There's a lot of things you can make money on. NFTs are one of them, but that doesn't mean they're not a scam.
So, Ben, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I think we need to have the Anti-Grade Brigade podcast that starts tonight. Let's get on that. We
can get matching David Peck tattoos, all three of us. Paul can drive us to the tattoo parlor.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on to the Let's Go region.
Yeah, the number one seed here is a two-time champion. It's bots. It's the reason you can't buy anything online. It's the reason you're getting shut out on your purchases. It goes on sale at noon. You're hitting refresh by 12:03. It's sold out, and you've got nothing. That's because of bots. It'll go up against number 16, one of our TBDs, which whichever one goes there, I'm sorry, you're not advancing. It's just not going to happen. Number 8, returning cards because of damage to the holders. It's good common sense to buy the card, not the grade. Buy the card, not the case. You're still going to see people returning the cards because of damage to the case if you bought it on eBay. So, number 9, this is a new annoyance, and it is really a big annoyance.
Oh my God.
It's people who are flaunting cash in their card picks. Here's my card that I just overspent on. Look at all those hundreds that I would have had to make my car payment. No, there we go. Good job, guys.
This is the cousin of the crypto boy.
Yeah, this is Instagram. This is everywhere. There are videos of people putting cash. They go to a card show, they see the card they want, and they're working out a deal, and they're putting the cash down on the case as they're working out the deal. And then there's a picture of the card and the deal and everything, and the cash is all laid out. Yes.
Well, it's like that
yes.
video that Brian Gray just put out, where he's just counting out 100 after 100 after 100. It's like, yes. We get it, man. We get it.
In his latest buyback scheme that he's got, I mean,
yeah,
I like Brian. He's a nice enough guy, but that guy's got a lot of Twitter issues, and he really needs a PR guy that's just going to tell him, you know what? It's almost like if you watch The Office, when Ryan creates a thing for Creed where he can't really post. It's www.creed thoughts, where it's not really going to the internet. That's what needs to happen with Brian, where we're going to set up a fake Twitter account where you can, but when you hit send, it doesn't really get posted to twitter.com.
Brian can have his own region, man. He's literally all over this. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the best thing about those cash in the card picks, like you said, everything on the internet is always there. We will know you spent too much money forever,
Yes.
forever
In
memorialized.
perpetuity. Yes. In
I tell you
perpetuity.
what, I will say this: Brian Gray is a very, very entertaining figure.
Yeah.
I mean, we had him
in the hobby. Yeah.
We had him on the podcast. He, for the first 15, 20 minutes of the interview, everybody was in our comment section like, when are you going to blast him on investing in cards? And I'm like, first off, he's a manufacturer, he's a CEO, let's be polite, but he's going to use the I word one too many times, and then his day's going to end, and I'm going to make him cry. And eventually he said it. And I have respect for him to a certain degree. I like him. He's a nice guy. I think he means well. He's just kind of a chucklehead, and he needs to turn off Twitter.
Brian and I go way back, and we were talking about the Damar Hamlin thing that came up recently, and got into it a little bit, and people were like, I'm like, listen, Brian and I this isn't our first issue. It won't be the last. But yeah, I think we can table Brian Gray for right now. So let's go on to number 5 here, Paul.
Yeah. Number 5 is anyone who sells a card and requires payment as friends and family only. If there isn't a better advertisement for a potential scam than that. For those who don't know, when you're purchasing through PayPal, you either buy things the normal way, in which you have seller protect or buyer protections, or you can send it as friends and family, where you're trying to get around the whole IRS and you really have no protections whatsoever. Yet there's a lot of people.
This has become a huge issue, huge issue. Like this year specifically. Now eBay has pushed off the 1099s that were going to be coming. Those have been delayed a year at least. I'm guessing they never come, but like this was a big deal for 2022. Like as an annoyance, I think this could be the sleeper pick right here, because there were so many breakers doing literally millions of dollars worth of business on Facebook and friends and family. And I'm just like, how are these people building a business where the IRS has no visibility into any of it? It's ridiculous. Like these are $1 million businesses taking in millions of revenue, and they're doing all their business through friends and family payments on PayPal. Like it's ridiculous.
Some of these breakers had 246 birthdays.
I do have a couple friends that work at the IRS in Fresno, California, and just be careful what you put out there, because I know they are in not just trading card groups, but art groups, other collectible groups, and things like that, and they just kind of monitor quietly. You're not going to know who they are, and they're I know that the FBI
Blame Ben.
Congressional people hopped on Sports Card Radio's website and stuff like that as well. You never know who's watching, so just be careful what you're doing out there. It's just a good rule of thumb not to.
And it's one of those things where I always look for future lawsuits. I think at some point we're going to see a friends and family then jail type litigation coming up from the IRS. So we'll see. But there's a lot of people that, like you said, they're making a lot of money trying to avoid the IRS, and that doesn't last very long. Now, friends and family is going up against probably one of the most polarizing annoyances that's here. Scotch tape for shipping. Some people just don't understand why Scotch tape is annoying, and other people don't know why you're annoyed that they're using Scotch tape to ship. If the card gets there, you're good. That's all we care about. But it's one of those ones. There is no annoyance on here where you have such polarization on both sides. Nobody can have a casual conversation.
Why is it 12 seed? Oh, because it doesn't matter. Like that's why it's a 12 seed.
I'll tell you what, I've had 3 cards ruined in the last 30 days by tape, not Scotch tape, but blue painter's tape. And anytime I say ship safe, no tape on Twitter, people come out of the woodworks defending painter's tape. And it's like, it's literally costs you more money to put painter's tape than just buying team bags.
Yeah. I ship everything in a team bag. Yeah. Like it's like penny sleeve top loader team bag, tape it to some cardboard box from my recent Amazon shipment. Like literally, like I get it. Now my thing, this is one of my biggest negative. I don't think this should be in the tournament. This isn't annoying. It's just people being overly anal about things. Listen, if my responsibility as a seller is to get you the card with no damage. If the card is there with no damage, I've done my job. If you as a buyer receive the card and there's damage, it's my responsibility. Doesn't matter how it got there. Doesn't matter what box it came in. Doesn't matter if it was shipped with no sleeve and no top loader and a white envelope. I've done my job as a seller as it gets to you with no damage. So if you're telling me that you're being such a gatekeeper that you need to bitch at me over Scotch tape, we're going to have words.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is, did the card get there? But if Scotch tape fucked up your card,
of course, if it's damaged, whose responsibility is that? That's the seller's. I need to refund you money. But I'm very, very keen on this. Like, if you're gonna give me shit because your card didn't get you with the proper packing materials, but it got there safe, you have no complaint. I'm sorry.
Maybe next year we need to repackage this as bad shipping.
Maybe that's different. That's like, I've had cards packaged like a nuclear football where like they're launch codes and like you have to like unwrap like 80 million things worth of like that. That's annoying. Like that I will give you. But
if I have
as long as
object next to adhesive or next to cardboard, that's why I don't like any kind of tape. Adhesive and cardboard do not mix. If you must use tape, you can do it on the outside of your team bag to tape the team bag to itself. But the key is always, no matter what, just have the appropriate sized top loader, because that's when they're going to start to move. If it's nice and snug in there, you'll never need tape at all. I bitch about this every so often on Twitter, and then, get into a couple of fights, and then, a couple of blocks here and there. And then I never hear from these people again.
See, the funny thing is like, I get the people who are saying it's unprofessional. I'm like, since when is cards my profession? Like, I am not caring about whether you fucking think I am professional or not. Like, I am sorry. All right, let's get out of the weeds here. Any final thoughts on Scotch tape before we move on? Because I know that was one I had to drill into the ground.
Yeah, just see me on Twitter tomorrow. I'll have like an 8-hour rant. So.
Let's do it. Hey, let's do it. Dueling 8-hour rants. I'm right there with you, buddy. I'm right there with you. All right, let's go on to number 4 here.
Number four is one of my social media pet peeves, where you have somebody opens a pack, posts a picture of a card that they know is a good card, and asking, "Did I do okay?" There's something about the smugness of this. It's just like, you didn't do anything. You didn't do anything. You got lucky.
Well, you know what that is code word for? We all know we're not.
This is for sale. Yeah, this is for sale.
Make me an offer. That's all it comes down to. Did I do okay? Because that's what people are going to jump in there. Is it for sale? If it's for sale, let me know. And I'm guilty of that too, because if I see Mark McGwire pulled and somebody has it posted, I don't give a shit what you say on that post. If I need it,
I'm sending you a message.
I'm asking if it's available. What is your price? And see if we're close enough to where we can.
Dude, we need to have a podcast, you and I. We are like the same person. It's crazy. All right. Go ahead. All right. Let's go to bare feet here.
Yeah, number 13, bare feet and card pics. I mean, you've got so many ways to edit pictures nowadays. It's not like you're using a Kodak camera with film and developing it. I mean, just crop it just a little bit. Your Hobbit feet are disgusting. Your prices would probably go up if we don't see them, and I don't know. I think what we need to start doing is collecting everybody's favorite bare feet pictures and cards, because
there needs to be a people of Walmart. Yes, there needs to be a people of Walmart for this. Yes. Absolutely. All right.
I posted a McGuire rainbow the other day with my foot in the picture on purpose. It did have a sock on it. So it was it was just there. I just want people to see my feet. Like, isn't that what we're supposed to do? I'm just trying to be part of the hobby.
No, we were debating about extending this from bare feet and card pics to body parts in card pics, because there's been a movement of scantily clad women with cards being held up by their cleavage.
Yep, absolutely.
That pisses me off, because it's somebody that did a lot of marketing for a lot of years for my own businesses, other businesses I've worked for and stuff like that. The card is the object. That's what we're selling. We don't need boobs. There are plenty of websites if you need to see that. And if I see one more dude's crotch when he's taking a picture in his lap by a steering wheel, dude, I mean, that's an automatic block. I don't need.
Hey, there are people who just want to post the steering wheel that I'm driving a Mercedes or whatever. Hey guys, like, we are like, getting to a point where we're getting really into the weeds here. So I want to speed this up a little bit.
Got to keep moving.
We got to
Sure.
keep moving here. We still have a whole nother region here. So let's get going.
Yeah. Number 5 is a TBD that we will figure out. There's 2 in this region. You know, we'll figure out 4 of them. We'll try and figure out that last one as a community. We'll see how that works. Number 14, the Fanatics takeover. It's new because it's new. How is Fanatics going to change the hobby by owning it all? We'll see. I can see this one becoming more of an issue in the future. Right now, it's all speculation, but we'll see where it goes. Number 6. This is another eBay. You sold a card, you're happy, then all of a sudden you get a cancellation notice with a message, did not read, please cancel. Because it's really hard. I mean, you're selling a card. The card, it's basically you need to read the title. Everything's there, but they didn't read it. They need to cancel it. It's going up against number 11, auto pen autos. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, there's a lot of people that are pretty angry about it. I think the last big one was Dak Prescott. I own a couple of those.
This one needs to be retired. I'm sorry. This one needs to be retired. There's not much here. Go ahead.
There's not many cards. It doesn't affect very many, but I do have my own little collection of auto pen autos. So
nice.
Number 7, anybody in 2022 and 2023 who still refers to book value for cards. I mean, we have instant pricing on eBay. What's it worth? I mean, besides what somebody's willing to pay, you can look on eBay. What did somebody pay for this today? You can see that. Not, hey, look, June Beckett says this is this. Well, you know, I don't care. And people
especially with the new apps. Yeah, the new apps that are out there that consolidate information, this is worthless now.
Well, and honestly, where does Beckett get their pricing? If you don't know, hint, they get it from eBay.
How do they still exist? I don't know how they still exist. Yeah, I don't know how they still exist.
When's the last time you bought a card off Beckett Marketplace? Somebody asked me that the other day, and I'm like, I forgot that they had one.
Never. Yeah. Number 10.
Repack products, breaker products. This is when somebody's, some manufacturers do it too. They'll buy a bunch of cards that are out there, even from other manufacturers, put them in another pack, repackage them, and sell them. It's a low seed. Sometimes you get good hits out of it, but you know, it's still pretty annoying.
I added breaker products into this one because breakers have started making their own repack products, and I find that to be ridiculous. Let's go on. Let's move.
Number 15, no back picture of your card in an auction. Because cards have 2 sides. Yes, you're looking more at one side than the other side, but when you're buying a card, especially if you're going to spend some money on the card, you should get both sides. You should be able to look at both sides. It's going up against number 2, one of my favorites. This card's for sale, but PM me for price. I'm not going to tell you what the price is. You're going to have to contact me directly, and then I'll tell you what it is.
Now, Paul, if I don't PM you for the price, how am I going to know what the net to you is going to be?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, wow. You found a loophole there.
And this moves us to the thanks tops region. I love that. We'll start off with the 2 seed here.
Shout out to Eric there. Shout out to Eric.
Yeah. Will this card grade as a 10? Yeah.
This is
Nobody
it.
knows.
This is it.
Cousin, there's your cousin.
This is it.
Yeah. You know, a grader can't tell you that. A grader will grade that as a 10 and a 9, depending on what he had for breakfast the next day.
Grading is a scam. It's a scam. Let's go.
It really is. Number 15, you're clicking it, you're selling a card, somebody buys it now and doesn't pay now, they pay much later. 15 seed, we're not going to see this run around very much longer.
Actually, eBay just recently fixed this, but we can talk about that on another show.
Perfect. Number 7, eBay one of ones. There is one way to ruin the search engine. This fact that if you think about it, every card is a one of one. Every card is a true one of one. But some eBay sellers will tell you that. It's a 20 of 20. That's a one of one. It's a 5 of 5, one of one. No, it's not. It's going up against buyers guilting sellers. We get a lot of that. Come on, can you get your price down lower, please? No. Number 6 is one that I'm always surprised goes out early. Bad customer service. I mean, manufacturers, it's one of those things where you always see people complaining. Topps customer service sucks. Panini customer service is the worst. But this will advance one round and go out the next.
I don't know if it's advancing this year. I don't know if it's advancing this year.
Yeah.
This is
This is a new entrant this year. It's people harassing retail workers. I think this is a potential dark horse that we've got here.
I hope this goes far.
There could be some upsets coming up with this one. Number 3, this offends me as someone who does negotiation all the time. It's when somebody asks you, what's your absolute lowest price? You have a buyer asking a seller, what's the lowest you're going to go? No. If we're going to negotiate, let's negotiate. I'm not going to tell you what my bottom line is.
I always just respond, use the offer system. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what's the lowest you'll go? I don't know. What's the highest you will go?
Well,
exactly.
I used to teach sales courses, and I told people all the time, never ask somebody what their budget is, what they're willing to spend, because you're always wanting to spend less than you're willing to spend. Yeah. I don't want to give you my cards. If you can sell the product to me, I will spend more than I want to. It's just, it's bad for so many, but people are cheap asses, and fair enough. I mean, that's their, hey, if you're willing to sell it to me for $5, I would have gave you 10, but if you give it to me for 5, cool.
All right.
I locked up there for a second. Hopefully I'm back.
Yep, you're back. 14 fractional ownership.
Yeah, this is a new one that's popping up where, you have cards that are, most people can't afford. So you have 13 people going in and owning, a little piece of it. Again, it's a low seed. It's probably not advancing. Number 4, you have eBay customs. I don't think there's anything worse than just cards that are just wholly made up. Some artist has them posted. Some of them might be neat, but they're not trying to really sell their cards. They're trying to freeload off of somebody else's IP.
I love these and I buy these. So
oh my God, there you go.
There was a guy that had some A's ones the other day, and they had a McGuire and a Canseco and a Henderson, Eckersley, and Jackson. I said, I'm not paying you $8 a piece, but I want all 5. What will you, they're ACO. I get it. He had to make them, print them, etc. But, he's like, I'll do this for you. And I'm like, sold, I'll buy them. I collect cards. I don't care if it's a manufacturer or not. I understand there's legalities around it. You can make it at home. You're not supposed to sell it. I get that. But you know what? I don't care. Yeah. If it's available for sale and it's got Mark McGuire's face on it, I'm probably your Huckleberry. Sorry.
All right. Confessions happen.
Yeah, and it will be going up against the TBD that we'll figure out. Number 5, one of my personal favorites, exclusive licenses between manufacturers and the leagues. It's the reason you haven't seen Michael Jordan in a Bulls uniform forever.
That's player exclusive. That's a different one.
It's part of it. It's a little bit of both. Well,
but yeah. Jordan's a unique case. But yeah, this is a bad one. And with Fanatics being owned partially by the leagues, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, there's only one person that's going to only one company that's going to make your cards.
And I don't get how they get around the antitrust law, but again, I'm not a lawyer, so
we'll see.
Too many, yeah, well, he's the lawyer. Ask him. License. So 50 questions on a $2. Oh my God, this is one of my favorites too.
Yeah, it's just you're selling a low value card and someone keeps asking, and really by the time you should have just bought it. You should have bought it by now.
It cost me $2 to answer your questions. Yes.
Yeah. Number 8, we got off-centered cards. I know it's more of the grading crowd looking at that, but it's pretty annoying to them. Number 9, nothing at retail. I think this one's going to start dropping off. This was more of a product of COVID than anything else, so we'll see if it goes anywhere. Number 16, this guy's not advancing at all. It's the fact that we only have 64 annoyances in here and we should have 128. It's not going anywhere because it's going up against number 1, pack searchers.
How often did pack searchers win? Has that ever won?
It may have won 4 years ago. It's been in the finals before. So okay. It's a powerhouse.
All right. So we've got the full bracket here. I'm going to stop sharing here so we can get back on camera. So we've gotten all the regions revealed. Tops thinks Tops was the last region. Great job putting this all together, Paul. Thank you for all the work that you've done on this. So now because we're already sort of getting to a point where I'm sure people, if they're still watching, we thank you. We're trying to have fun here, and we've been drinking our drinks of choice for a reason. But I want to make sure everybody gets their chance to pick their TBD. So we'll go around here. We'll start with Paul because he's the originator. He'll give his 5 choices and then his 1 choice to fill in the TBD. And one fun thing is if you can pick, well, I think we're not. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to everybody's final four, but tell us your favorite four that you have in there, and then give us your one pick. So, Paul, you want to start us off?
Sure. My five that aren't in that I think should be: sticker autos, comps, cards, pictures on vacation, mystery packs, and grab bags. And then my favorite, the one that pulls at my heartstrings, as somebody who grew up in the suburbs of Chicago in 1986, and I can't see him in a uniform anymore, player exclusive licenses with manufacturers.
Yeah,
It really needs to be in. It's my TBD. It's what needs to be in the tournament.
No,
It's
absolutely.
All right.
As a financial guy, I agree. There should not be. It's free market. But
Yeah. So what's your favorite? So of all of these brackets, what are your four favorite that you are driving at without going into your ones that didn't make the tournament? We know that player exclusive licenses is now back in. What's your favorite four?
Yeah, my favorite four are what's your absolute lowest price? It just offends me as a negotiator. People who still say book value nowadays. Cash in card picks. Come on. I mean, it's just so bad. And then exclusives with manufacturer exclusive licenses with the leagues. Those are my top four. They're not necessarily what I think is going to go to the final four, but those are the top four that annoy me personally.
So if you had to pick one winner out of all of this, what would be your winner for this year?
Oh, to me personally, it would be exclusives with the leagues. That's
okay,
without a doubt.
Especially with the Fanatics news. Okay,
yeah.
Ben, you're up next, my friend. Let's hear your picks here, and then your one for the TBE that you're going to add to the pool, followed by your favorite four here as well.
Yeah, so Project X or 2020, 70, 100, whatever, all these Juan Soto, Aaron Judge X crap. These are just money grabs. And I get Topps as a company, I get Fanatics as a company, Panini. I get that, I understand revenues extremely well. I get that that's why they're doing it, but it's just crap we don't need. I hate going to a card show and seeing people with these big black cases and, beep, beep, and they open them up and then, they've got a bunch of $20 Trevor Lawrence cards in it and they're trying to sell.
eBay so I actually have those black cases, but it's to keep my kids out of the cards, not to I don't take them to card shows.
No, I'm guilty of that too. I actually have one of those cases, but I used it to bring my cards back and forth from my office because I didn't trust any of my high dollar value cards at the office because it's in downtown St. Louis. So I bring them back and forth,
All right. Tired of eBay keyword spamming. And we touched on this. But the other day, I even saw 2022 Mark McGwire. I do searches for that all the time, right? And somebody had a 1987 Topps card graded, and it literally said graded in 2022. I don't care when you graded it, but now it's going to come up in my search.
Yeah, exactly.
Breakers who wear gloves, dude.
Oh, good one.
Stop. You're not on ER. Cut it out, right? This is Grey's Anatomy. Nobody. And then, of course, the one that I absolutely can't stand is comps. What does it comp at? Comps, believe it or not, are not quantitatively real, especially in a non-autonomous consumption industry, which is trading cards. Comps, it's an immature market. It's only been around effectively since 1948. And, you don't need these. Comps are not real. There's a million different variables, known and unknown, as to why somebody will buy something and why they paid a certain price. We don't know the acquisition cost of the seller. We don't know what their internal rate of return is. We don't know what their rate of return is. So we don't know any of these variables. Comps are not real. They're nothing more than a guide. The last one sold at $5. Doesn't mean the next one will sell at 5, could sell at 10, could sell at 2. Comps are the devil. I can't stand that word.
Okay. So what are you choosing for your TBD?
If nobody else is going with comps, that needs to be on a list like this.
You're up first, so you got it. You got comps as your choice.
And
what's
I know
your favorite for?
Yeah, so mine, obviously, the one that absolutely is cards are not investments, and for a million reasons that I can argue why they're not more than somebody can argue why they think that they are. Q and David Peck. I think that you're collecting wrong. There's no such thing. Everybody how they can, whether it's budgetary, whether it's, favorite players, favorite teams, doesn't matter. We've explained on About the Cards how somebody should focus their, when somebody's new to the hobby, we've touched that ad nauseum, how you kind of focus your collecting to cater to your specific needs and questions only you can answer. And then Scotch tape. I don't think tape in general needs to be anywhere near cardboard.
Our podcast is canceled. Podcast is canceled.
It's a great argument item, though. It's great. And then the other one I had is, harassing workers. These people are just trying to earn a living. Cut it out. You can wait. We don't. I mean, I don't know. Toilet paper, eggs now. In the past, but at least that's food, and toilet paper is a necessity. Let them do their job.
So what's your winner for this year? If you had to pick a winner, what's your winner?
As soon as I saw investments, I went ahead, like you said before.
All right, we're going there. We're going.
It went all the way to number one.
Drew an arrow.
It didn't matter. It was just like it was like investments cards are not investments. You can make money off of them. Don't confuse the two.
All right, Ryan, you're up, man, my friend.
Okay, so for those of you that know me, know that I'm a big national convention guy. I've been to, I think, 20 of them now. This year will be 20 or 21. I'm not sure that the count. I've lost count. I'm actually at the point now where I'm kind of jaded, and you kind of see the same shit over and over again every single year. But now it's more about meeting people, having dinner, going out, hanging with friends. And that's what it's more about now than, I think I bought one card last year, and I bought it because I was like, well, if I don't buy a card, I'm not going to buy any cards. So should buy a card. Anyway, so I've got two things from the National, which I'm probably not going to select just because if you don't go to the National, you don't appreciate it. And I want to appeal to a wide audience here. The first one is the Panini National VIP Party. You like that, Paul?
That was pretty funny. I didn't go. I've never gone for that reason.
You know why you haven't gone? You know why you haven't gone? Because you got to buy $40,000 in shitty wax. That's why you've never gone, because you need to buy 40 grand in retail.
It's a breaker party. Yeah. It's
Panini basketball. It is a bullshit endeavor only for breakers. Breakers are the only people that go to this thing anymore. And you know what? Honestly, from what I've seen, the first couple of years were pretty awesome when it was like $5 or $6 grand to go. And now it's just kind of like, well, it's open bar. Let's just get plowed. So that's on my list. At one point I wanted to go. Now I'd rather buy a car personally. Yeah. So second thing is our breakers at the National. If you've never been near the breaker pavilion at a national convention, these morons don't shut the fuck up for 12 hours a day. They scream over everything. They scream at each other.
This is
across the room.
You're not choosing this one? This is a good one.
It's a good one. But again, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't experienced it, and then the geniuses of the National decided to put the Breaker Pavilion last year between the main stage and the cellars. So now you've got this wall of idiocy. You can't hear anybody at the main stage if that's your thing, because they're screaming at each other about some fucking $2 Edgar Renteria autograph they just pulled for some dickbag that paid $45 for the Marlins. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So those two are two of my choices. I'm gonna put those away. If we have a national convention bracket, I've got those two on the back burner. Pack poachers. Now, this is something that happens if you open packs in a store. And what you'll get is you'll get into a box and you'll start opening packs, and somebody will monitor you. They will monitor what you're pulling. And then the moment it gets down to about half the box or a quarter of the box left, they start sticking their fucking hands in trying to buy packs.
I've been there.
And that's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. If I'm in a box, you stay the fuck out till I'm done. Straight up. All right.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like I said, I don't open anymore. So
yeah. One pack left. They haven't found an auto. I'll buy that one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you've opened 20 of 24 packs at $12 a piece, but you haven't hit the auto. Oh, I'd like to buy a pack. Yeah, fuck you, buddy. You're gonna wait. How about that?
It's even worse when you know where the hits are. So like, because Topps collation is terrible and
Yeah.
PDA collation is terrible. So they'll like open the box and like dig down to like that third to last pack and just poach that one and then leave the rest of the box. That's
Yeah,
even worse.
exactly. And then not understanding Upper Deck's e-pack format.
Okay.
There's a ton of ignorance with e-pack, and I am big on e-pack, and I do a lot of e-pack, and I still run into people every single day that think that every card on there is digital, that you cannot have a card in your hand, and that's not the case. And it's ignorance, and it needs to stop, because honestly, e-pack is the future. It is. It's a simple format to learn. They actually offer really great cards for the achievements, depending on the product. And the pricing is, it's pretty close to what you'll pay in the real world. But the one I'm going to go with Shady Auction Houses.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I'm going with Shady fucking Auction Houses.
Man, that response was golden. I mean,
Thank you.
So I'm going with that. And I don't want it going up against box.
I don't want to go up against bot.
Because I think it's got legs. I think it's got legs. So I'm going Shady Auction Houses. I'm not naming any.
We
but
just
I'm
lump
just
them
saying
all in.
they're out
some
there.
auction houses have 9-figure bank accounts. So
And they live on a vast estate. And they're
Like
owned
I
by
said,
a grading company. They're owned by same companies.
But
that
that's
own
I'm
grading
not
companies.
naming.
I'm
I'm gonna
any
mute my
auction houses.
picture. How do I mute my picture?
Right.
I'm not naming any auction houses. I'm just saying there's no reason that a Michael Jordan rookie should sell for $500,000. Straight up.
a lot of shenanigans in this hobby.
Yeah.
So
let's
what are
play
your
auction house
favorite
shenanigans?
We'll put shill bidding auction house. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get you your Shady Auction House listing. What's your favorite four?
Favorite four is uninformed influencers. Did I do good? Will this grade a 10? And NFTs.
And what's your winner for this year?
Me personally?
Yep.
Will this grade a 10?
Yeah.
Ooh, Cinderella story. All right.
Adam, at the end of this, do we get to say, did we do good as a podcast tonight?
I think we do. I think we need to post it on Twitter.
We grade as a 10.
Do we grade? What's the grade of this podcast? Yeah. All right. So mine,
11.
yeah. So I'm very opinionated, and Ryan hit some really good ones. You guys have all is hit a lot of mine too. Paul, you and I are very aligned here. But I have to. I'm very akin to a couple of them. One is annoying breaker voices, and I've said this for a number of years.
Yeah.
When you have done this tournament, people who run their breaks like they're on the main stage at a strip club, like, "Are you ready for the coochie?" But anyways, like, this is they literally talk with like a radio MC voice. And I don't watch breaks with volume anymore unless it's like Chris or Matt on Blowout. Like, those guys usually just play it straight and they're great. They go through the cards fast. They rip, but these voices where they have to have like the voice of a radio broadcaster is just awful. I have to watch it on mute. A more recent one that I just added to this: threatening somebody to sue somebody over negative comments. Like, for real, like, this happens. It's not just Jeff Wilson. It was just a complete jackass for going that way. But like, we talked about uninformed card influencers. He's one of them. Like, there's so many people out there, and then they threaten to sue you if you say something bad about them. They kick you out. They block you. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Calling something true. That's one of my annoyances. Ben mentioned true collectors at the top of it. That's one of them. True collectors, true RC, true gold, true this, true that. Like,
true RC.
I cannot stand it. Like, adding the word true in front of something does not add any gravitas to what you're saying.
But
you can call
some fun. When I'm like, the 85 is the PRC and the 87 McGuire is the TRC, and people get so fired up, and I'm over on the other end laughing every tweet I send, and people are getting so irritated.
I can't stand it. Like, I saw somebody put in an auction true gold, And I'm just like, if it's a gold card and it's numbered out of 10, like it's the worst fucking thing that has happened to this hobby is that people have to qualify terms because the terms themselves have gotten so complicated. Like, this is the true prism, or this is the first prism, or this is this or that. They have to add these qualifying words. And my least favorite one is when people put true in front of shit, especially when they try to add value as a result of it. So you talk about like the National Treasures rookie patch autographs. This is the true rookie for the set, so it's got to be worth more. The points, I don't know how this got kicked out. Like, redemptions are a hobby nightmare, and it's not necessarily that the redemptions are there, because not every player is putting cards at the forefront of their priorities. It's usually what happens when they don't fulfill the redemptions that makes everybody pissed off, or when it takes fucking forever to do it. Points is not the solution to that. Like, it was basically introduced as a way to give people choice over what they want their cards replaced with. Instead, the bots come in every time Panini lists good cards and just pick them all off because they've got 80,000 points saved up. But I've seen people throw cards across a card shop for pulling points, because you can get a $5,000 box that has 125 points in it. Like, that's happened before, and it's fucking bullshit. Like, how did this get knocked out? Like, how did people not vote for this? Anytime somebody pulls points, the reaction is always the same, and yet no one voted for this shit in the play-in game.
Yeah.
Cards on vacation, Paul and I, right there, buddy, right there. People take their cards to bowling alleys, to the Eiffel Tower, to Unity. And like, I don't need
Scuba
to see
diving.
your scuba diving. Like, I don't need to see your cards go places with you. Like, they're cards.
Aspen.
Exactly. Like,
Take your kids.
why do I?
Take your kids.
Why are you? Seriously,
I
like,
like my cards, Paul.
yes.
My kids are good tax write-offs.
Exactly. There you go. I got 4 tags right now. So like the thing is like, I get you're proud of your cards, but I don't need to see a social media picture of a card you've already posted numerous times being placed in other situations. Like, I took this card to a game. Like, look, here's Zion Williamson, and here's his card, and it's a picture with him in the back. Like, that's fucking stupid. Like, that's so annoying.
I worked with a guy. His best friend stole his 1988 Darryl Strawberry starting lineup, just the figure. Took it with him everywhere.
Took pictures. Yeah, that's great.
And
that's trolling.
That's the exception to the rule.
That's trolling.
On his
40th birthday, he got a big box, and he opened it up, didn't know what it could be, and it was filled with like bricks and stuff for weight. And in it was Darryl Strawberry. He made it back home.
That's awesome. That's trolling, though, and I fully support that.
And it was 20 years. I mean, that's the long game.
That's great. So my favorite, the one that I am choosing, is Cards on Vacation. I cannot stand that. You can put that up against bots because I know it's not going to win, but it absolutely needs to be in the tournament because that shit sucks. Yeah. So my favorite 4 uninformed card influencers, I swear to God, like, I see the stupidest shit posted on Instagram, posted on Twitter, posted on YouTube. These guys are clearly not knowing a goddamn thing about what they're talking about, and they're making these statements like it makes sense. And like we've said, Bo Bichette is a Dodger. We've seen Will Greer is a great investment. We've seen people posting fake patch autographs as like these amazing cards on these, the influencer accounts that just post a bunch of shit as the greatest cards ever. Like,
but not only that, they'll post those patch cards, and then they get a litany of comments saying, "This is the greatest patch I've seen today. I can't believe you got this. This is amazing." Knock, knock, so motherfucker! Dumb. It's fake.
Yeah, it's not real. Like, Tools of the Trade with a 175th logo patch autograph in 2005 Donruss is not a real card. Like,
I saw a guy post a UD Premier Joe Morgan, and it was like a 75th anniversary patch, and it was in the one season he played with. Like, you're telling me you got the one Joe Morgan worn jersey, and they put the entire fucking patch? Really?
Like, card influencers have become the face of this hobby, and that's why it's so annoying to me. is that these people are the people driving traffic to the hobby, and they're creating these minions of these legions of collectors and people who base their existence on bullshit. And it's like, how did these people get? It's like, oh, you make great looking content, therefore you deserve to have my attention. Like, or you have really nice cards. Your cards are awesome. So
Well, the
I'm
other
gonna
thing I
follow you.
like is when the influencers get a box of like, $8,000 first off the line National Treasures basketball, and they act like they actually paid for it.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I'm so worried. It's got to be a great card, or what?
Yeah.
What? What's good? You didn't fucking
You didn't
pay
pay for
Why does
this.
it
Yeah,
matter?
exactly. So uninformed card influencers, definitely a favorite of mine. Slow rolling breakers, we talked about. Cash in the card picks, all of, I can't stand that. Ben, you and me harassing retail workers, literally the lowest of the low. Like, if you, that doesn't happen anymore likely, but oh, that is just brutal. My winner though, I think that, like, I was a digital card guy. I like digital cards. I think it was fun as an entertainment source, not as an investment. Like, if you're just having fun and doing whatever, that's one thing. I understand the concepts behind NFTs. I also understand why a lot of people are completely off the rails with it. But I think NFTs is my winner. Like, I think because of the progression that we've seen over the course of this year, I think NFTs is the winner. That's my pick.
Well, Tops, going with 1952 Tops mantle right off the bat. It's like, what are you going to do next week? 1973 O-Pee-Chee, Ken Holtzman.
We start high.
My fractional.
So I'll see you guys later.
I'll buy all 17 slots of that fraction. I mean, come on, cut it out.
Yeah. So that's my picks. Hey guys, I know we're running really late here, but awesome conversation. It has been so much fun to be on here with you guys and hear the takes. Like, we were trying to get this as spicy as possible, and I'm glad we really got some awesome stuff on here. I want to go and give you guys one more chance to tell everybody where they can find you, and then we'll sort of wrap this up, and hopefully it doesn't get to be like 10 gigabytes worth of a 2-hour conversation, but man, this was a great time, and I hope we get to do this again. And Paul, awesome job with this tournament. Again, you are the originator, and my hat off to you. So great job. So
Thanks.
Ben, why don't you tell them where you can find them, and then we'll go around the horn here.
Yeah, for those that haven't blocked me on Twitter, it's at our trading cards podcast. 200 episodes of About the Cards. Probably should get together again when the tournament's over with and just analyze it.
We should.
Tune in next week for our sweet 7 of things we enjoy about the hobby.
There you go.
You got 7?
There might be 7.
Congrats, man. Congrats. That's amazing. Paul, do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Paul_Lesko. Yes, I screwed up and used an underscore, but that's how you can find me.
1999, Paul. Great job. There's so many Paul Leskos out there. Gotta differentiate yourself. Go ahead, Ryan.
Damn it.
Can't find me anywhere.
Well,
I'm
you
the
used
Batman.
to be able to. You used to be
I'm the
able
Batman, but I am
He's
still
lurking.
around.
to. He's still lurking.
He's on Mastodon.
Yeah, exactly. He's on
I'm
post.
Master Wedding.
I'm Adam Gelman. You can find me at SC Uncensored on Twitter. You can find me at WWE Gelman on Instagram. It's where I house my super collection of Becky Lynch and wrestling cards. Really enjoy engaging with people and having these types of debates. Like Ben, I'm an arguer by nature, and I love getting into it with people. That's why we've brought up some of the things that we've brought up, because we all have those enemies out there, but it's just one of my passions to be passionate about cards. So I think it's really awesome to have these types of things where we can unload and sort of have a good laugh and sort of get to the bottom of it. But this was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks again.